They say rain helps you sleep. But what if what you hear isn't just a storm? Tonight, we delve into a story that blurs the line between reality and the unknown.
The quiet countryside of England, a man named Thomas inherited an old estate from an uncle he barely remembered. The house stood isolated, surrounded by overgrown fields and dense woods. Upon arrival, Thomas noticed a door at the end of a hallway that wouldn't budge, no matter how hard he tried. On the third night, as rain tapped against the windows, he heard faint noises, like a child's laughter echoing through the halls. Curious and unsettled, he approached the stubborn door once more. This time, it creaked open effortlessly. Inside was a room not listed on any of the house plans. Dust-covered toys lay scattered, and the air was thick with the scent of mildew. As he stepped inside, the door slammed shut behind him. Thomas awoke the next morning, not in his bedroom, but on the cold floor of the mysterious room. The door was gone, replaced by a solid wall. Deep within the dense forests of the Pacific Northwest, a seasoned hiker named Laura embarked on a solo trek to find solace after a personal loss. The trail was familiar, the air crisp, and the rhythmic patter of rain on leaves provided a comforting backdrop. As dusk settled, Laura set up camp near a clearing. The forest, usually alive with nocturnal sounds, was eerily silent. She dismissed the unease, attributing it to her solitude. In the middle of the night, a faint rustling outside her tent stirred her from sleep. Peering out, she saw nothing but darkness. Yet, the feeling of being watched was palpable. The next morning, she found footprints circling her tent, barefoot, human-like, but with elongated toes. Disturbed, she decided to cut her trip short. On her way back, she spotted a figure in the distance, tall, gaunt, and motionless. As she approached, it vanished without a trace. Locals later told her of legends about a forest dweller who watches those who wander alone. Off the rugged coast of Maine stands an old lighthouse, long decommissioned but still a beacon for local legends. Marcus, an urban explorer, was drawn to its history and decided to spend a night documenting its secrets. As rain lashed against the stone walls, Marcus ascended the spiral staircase, each step creaking under his weight. At the top, he discovered a journal belonging to the last keeper, detailing strange occurrences. Lights in the fog, whispers in the night, and a presence that grew stronger with each storm. That night, Marcus heard the unmistakable sound of footsteps echoing in the tower, despite being alone. The lantern room, once dark, was now aglow with an otherworldly light. Peering out, he saw figures emerging from the sea, their forms translucent, eyes glowing. The journal's final entry read, "They come with the storm. I am not alone." Traveling cross-country, Daniel took a detour to avoid a traffic jam, leading him to a town not marked on any map. The streets were immaculate, houses well-kept, but devoid of life. Stopping at a diner, he found it fully stocked, coffee brewing, but no staff or patrons. The silence was deafening. Exploring further, he noticed every clock in town was stopped at 3:15 p.m. Attempting to leave, Daniel found every road leading back to the town center. Panic set in as he realized he was trapped. As night fell, shadows danced in the windows, and whispers filled the air. A newspaper dated decades ago bore the headline, "Town vanishes at 3:15 p.m. No survivors." In an antique shop nestled in a quiet alley, Emma discovered an ornate mirror, its frame intricately carved with unfamiliar symbols. Drawn to it, she purchased it for her new apartment. At night, the mirror seemed to shimmer, reflecting not her room, but a dimly lit corridor stretching endlessly. Shadows flitted across, and faint whispers beckoned her. One evening, she reached out to touch the glass, and her reflection smiled back, though she hadn't. Startled, she stepped back, but the reflection remained, mimicking her every move with a delay. The next morning, Emma was gone. The mirror, now back in the shop, awaits its next owner.
Rain continues to fall and the night deepens. Remember, some stories are more than just tales. They're warnings. If you enjoyed these journeys into the unknown, consider subscribing for more. And if you have a story of your own, share it in the comments. Sleep well if you can.
Here's a bonus creepy story for you. In 2009, a small hotel on the outskirts of Cleveland closed down permanently. The building was old, business had dwindled, and rumors of strange occurrences had driven away the last of the regulars. But there was one room that stood out among the rest, room 313. The story opens with a young urban explorer named Kevin who documents abandoned buildings on his YouTube channel. One stormy night, he breaks into the decaying hotel with a single goal: capture raw, unedited footage of room 313. It had been boarded up for years. He films the peeling wallpaper, the static-filled silence of the hallway, and the rusted number on the door. Oddly, the lock turns easily, too easily. The room is untouched. A dusty camcorder sits on the desk, plugged into a socket that shouldn't have power. Curious, Kevin plays the tape inside. The footage shows a series of hotel guests, talking to the camera, all mentioning the same thing. A whispering voice they hear only after midnight. A sensation that someone is breathing right behind them. Then the tape cuts to a girl crying, repeating, "It's not a dream. It's not a dream." Before the screen turns black, Kevin begins hearing things. A hum, then a whisper that echoes his own thoughts. The lights flicker. His camera glitches. He tries to leave, but the hallway outside stretches unnaturally long. He runs, only to find himself back in room 313. He uploads one final video titled, "I shouldn't have gone into room 313. It ends with him staring at the camera, whispering, "I'm still here." The video cuts to static. That video still exists, buried deep online. Commenters say if you play it after 3:13 a.m., you can hear your own name whispered in the background. Would you watch it? Alone, in the dark? You made it through the storm. Or did you? If these stories followed you into your dreams, there are more waiting in the playlist below. And if you've experienced something you can't explain, share it. We're always listening.
They say if you listen long enough, something listens back.
This story begins not in a remote town or an ancient house, but here, now, at this very moment through your screen. A man named Darren works late nights alone at his computer. He listens to scary stories to stay awake, just like you are now. Last week, he listened to a horror video that ended with an odd message, just like this one. After that, strange things started to happen. His lights flickered at the same time each night. He'd hear footsteps upstairs, even though he lived alone. But what really disturbed him were the emails, blank messages, sent at 3:33 a.m., with one-word subject lines, "Listening." He tried everything, changing his IP address, logging out of everything, but they kept coming. The messages became more specific. "You heard it too. Stop pausing the video. Turn around." One night, in a moment of desperation, Darren recorded a message into his laptop mic. He whispered, "What do you want?" Playback revealed a chilling response. Not his voice, but something layered beneath the static. To be heard, Darren vanished 2 days later. The last file on his computer was this audio. You just listen to it.
Don't worry. It only finds those who keep listening after the end.